I could prove that all day long. I got scholars, man, that said, look, man,
You don't know it.
we don't even know how the white man got here. To be honest with you, no one wants to research it because they don't want to talk about the fact that before the white man was here, there were people of color. And it weren't no millions of years ago, otherwise they'll say it. Even down to the 10th, 12th, 13th century, Negroes was all up in Europe, man.
That's why it's easy for the so-called white man to hijack history, man, to portray himself as people that he's not, because he can't officially explain how he came over. That's why he has to be down Anglo-Saxons.
He don't want to explain how he's a usurper, man. I mean, but then you got these, man, you got these people that are saying the white man ain't the devil. Then why doesn't he tell the truth? Why doesn't he come out? Now we don't know he lied about this and all about that. Forget the 50-second page story. Put it front page. Put it on Front Street. Let the whole world, you're a dirty fucking liar and you lied. Just like you had them university fucking professors that came out and admitted that they made up a whole heap of Greek history. Just made it up. Google it. They came out and admitted, look, man, we couldn't find that, so we just made it all up and just said, yeah, we found that. We found this. They were making up poems, making up history, man. That's what the white man do. He's a charlatan, man. He has to pretend to have knowledge which he doesn't have because it's expected of him, but he's really just an idiot. He's a usurper, man. They're making all these films and all the knights with the chain mail and all that, carrying the big long swords. Those were all jakes. Ain't no white man lifting up no fucking long sword, man. Where are all the knights today that are lifting up them swords, man? You show me Lord Monckton that always goes to Alex Jones. He couldn't lift a long sword if his life depended on it, man. About Lord Monckton. Lord of who? Show me, you go down, like the brother said earlier, if you go into the House of Lords, them dudes ain't never seen chainmail before. Nah, I'm joking, they see, but they ain't gonna catch them man getting ready to go to war, going to battle. When Jake had them lords were warriors, man. They weren't just gentlemen. Yeah, they were ready to go to war too. Chop you in two. The balance, man. Alfred the Great, King Richard the Lionheart, Douglas the Black, King James. These are all Israelites, man. The Franks were Israelites. The Gauls, they were Israelites, man. Now, during the Roman times, the white man spread himself up into Europe, but the main people that were there were all blacks, man. That's what they don't teach you. The Gauls were all Iberians, man. They weren't Caucasians, they were Iberians. The Gauls, the Spanish, they weren't even known as Spanish, they were known as Iberians. You had Iberians living there. You also had original tribes from Japhetic tribes, like the Picts and the Scythians. They were still living in Europe, man. They were all people of color, man. The white man came in and usurped Europe during the time of the Roman Empire. But then we took his ass down and we were the majority in Europe, man. Any white people that were still in Europe were fucking peasants, man. They were no fucking knights. Are you out of your mind? Why do you think they were called knights? The word knight goes back to the word negrescent, man. That's where you get the word Negro, man. Why the fuck would a bunch of white people call themselves knights? They weren't no knights, man. You're talking about men that were drawing fucking longbows, man. That's Jake, man. Gods of the arena, gods of the battlefield. That's Jake, man. That ain't no, these crackers, you're not gods of the arena, man. They made that program on Spartacus, Gods of the Arena. That was Jake. How do we know? First of all, in that program they had Gannicus. He was a Celt. The Celts are Iberians, man. The Celts were all Israelites, man. They were people of color. David McRitchie breaks that down in his book, his scholarly work, which no one can't contest, because that brother did his homework, man, which he could be a Jake. David McRitchie, he's Scottish, I believe. He could be a Jake. And he really didn't hold back on too much. He didn't really connect all the dots properly, but hey, he ain't got the scriptures to really flesh it out proper, man. But he broke down a lot of stuff, man. It shows you the Celts were all Jakes, so Gannicus would have been a Jake. The Gauls, most of them Gaulish tribes were Iberians, man. They were people of color, man. They weren't no fucking Caucasians. Spartacus, they said he was from Thrace. Spartacus wasn't no fucking cracker. Ain't no cracker, no god of the arena. You name one fucking cracker that's a god in the arena, man. That ain't a Jake. Larry Bird was a Jake, man. On that, he was dropping them 3-point. Hey, he was a Jake. He was a Jake. He was Irish, man. He was a Negroid descent, man. Ain't no straight up cracker, no god of the arena. There ain't no Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, none of that, man. Most of them that do anything are all Irish Italian, man. They're Jakes that look like so-called white people, okay? Because you white people are evidently are not strong. You're a weak set of people, man. You're weak. And your kingdom's weak, man. The only thing you got is a gun. You're not men of war like that, man. When you go back to the Roman times and the time of the Greeks, you had Jakes fighting for you, man. You had Jakes in your army, and you still got Jakes in your army today, man. Them rich crackers don't be going into fucking warfare, man. They don't send their sons into the military, man. The poor people go into the military. You didn't see Tony Blair's son signing up for the military. Them fuck the Prince William and that, they go in, but they ain't doing nothing, man. They just flying helicopters, man.
That's why you mistreat your army, man. Because you just see them as poor peasants, man. It's not like you got the upstanding people in the army.
There's a bunch of people that ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing to do in their life, so they join the army, man.
So you just treat them however you want, man.
Like Sarge.
That's what I was saying this morning as well. All these army personnel and that, they're supposed to do great things for the country. I don't see them getting no fucking knighthoods and shit. Very, very rarely does it happen. You more likely to get a fucking knighthood for fucking writing a book. Or,
You know
being sports personality of the year twice in a row or some shit.
You think in medieval times you would be knighted for that shit? When Jake started going off for acts of valor, that's when you was a knight, man. Not fucking comedians and shit talking about how you're a knight, what, making jokes, and you get a prestigious position like being a knight, a defender of the realm. What are you gonna do? Tell a joke to the enemy and make laugh them to death? Give me the book of Samuel where David spoke about Saul and Jonathan, man. So David calls Saul and Jonathan weapons of war. Our men of prestige in Israel were warriors, man. They were men of wisdom, but they were also warriors, man. Now Saul was the king of Israel and Jonathan was his son. They were mighty men of war, man. They were knights, man. Real knights. But Esau was just a fucking faggot, man. That's why he created a faggot society, man. Where if you hit a man, you gonna get put in jail, even if the man hit you first. It's a faggot society, man. So yeah, it's right at the beginning of the second chapter.
Okay, so 2 Samuel chapter 1 verse 23. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives, and in their death they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles. They were stronger than lions.
They were mighty men. They were gods of the arena, man. Alright? Swifter than eagles, man. You heard about that great victory that Jonathan did with his armor bearer. With your armor bearer, that goes back to your squire. That's why Jake in the medieval times set that up. A squire was an armor bearer for a knight, but he was basically a knight in training. So eventually when he became skilled and he learned about how to rule and all that, he would be knighted and he would be set up as lord over a region. And be given a castle and all that, and that region would be his region. And he'll have bannermen, barons and that stuff up underneath him. So Jonathan was, even though Jonathan was like a prince, he had a squire, man. An armor bearer, man. And the armor bearer was with him, man, to the death.
Yeah.
That's how armor bearer was back in the day. Armor bearer will be by a knight's armor bearer. His squire will be. He's basically his go-to man. In the battle, he'll be right there. And just because he was an armor bearer, don't mean he didn't have his armor and his sword.
So ye daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put on ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle?
Yep.
O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thy high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women. How are the mighty fallen and the weapons of war perished?
Weapons of war, man. He didn't even say the sword. They were weapons of war, man. That's Jake. Physically, you can't talk to Jake. Jake himself is a weapon, man. Only thing is Jake. First of all, we're not even on the high level we were back then, and we're still higher, way higher than any of you heathens out there. And I know that for a fact, man, because none of them heathens couldn't test me on any arena, man. Them heathens are weak, man. They can't test man on any court. Get barged off the ball one time, man. Get destroyed, dismantled out here, man. Heathens are weak, man. You ain't bringing it to Jake like that. Negroes, Hispanic, Native American, Indian, you know your place. And they know. They know about our physical prowess, man. We're weapons of war, man. Our skill, our agility. Tiger went up into golf and just destroying you, man. You thought you got him down because you got up inside his head. And now he's back on top, man. And you got a new white woman that he's giving it to, man. Well, many. Tiger's a weapon of war, man. He just so happened to be trained in the art of golf. You put a sword in that man's hand from the time he was young, you would have seen something different. But right now, Jacob put in their mind not towards being warriors, but bouncing basketballs, man. You look at these Jakes in the NBA and all that. Imagine if they were trained up with a sword from young. You got LeBron James and 4 men rolling up on your ass, man. You gonna be looking to run, man. With his all bad and all that shit, you gonna be looking to get out of dodge, man. When you see them muscles and shit, you know how high they can jump and all that.
Galloping towards you, man.
Speeding towards your ass. Weapons of war. And we're not even as mighty as we used to be. That's why during the Dark Ages, our forefathers were just straight, raw, walking around with iron chainmail. Now, when the white man puts that shit on, he can't move. When the white man puts chainmail and all that on you,
I mean, they always say it in the documentary when they go back into these times and say, oh, if a man was to wear one of these suits of armor today, he wouldn't last no more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
yeah, man. Oh, I saw one where they said they're gonna have to take a break after 10 minutes in the middle of war.
How's that practical in war, man? How's a man gonna be doing that?
You wouldn't wear it, would you?
No.
If you can only fight for 10 minutes. How many people are you gonna kill?
Battles went on for hours, man.
Alright, and they show you that even in Shakespeare, when Macduff and Macbeth got at it, they had to go at it for time. Macduff, by the way, Duff means black, okay? Mac black. Macduff was an Israelite, man. And so was Macbeth. He was a wicked ass nigga, man. Trying to sleep, trying to look for the throne. He was just a coon. And guess what? When they used to wear the chainmail, they were swift, man. They weren't.
Yeah. That's how you know losing the white man.
The white man's weak, man. Them Jakes were powerful, man. King Richard the Lionheart and them men. Them men were. First of all, there's only few men today that can pull an English longbow. How is that possible when the English longbow, and they can only pull it a few times? Them men will go into war and just, why? Because they were some strong Jakes. Our forefathers were big, man. They had strength, man, beyond all reason, man. Weapons of war. Our people were a shadow of that. You got George Foreman. George Foreman was a mighty man, man. Crackers can't. Them Klitschko's, man, which they could be Jakes anyway, them Klitschko's, but they couldn't come to Foreman, man. Foreman would have got destroyed, man, with that right hook, man. Ali was a mighty man, man. You see how big Ali was and how swift he was on the foot. You got that dude David Price. He's all big and he's all like that, but he ain't like Ali was dancing around and look how big he was, man. Put put some chain mail on him, man, he would still be moving, dancing around.